funny how fast the momentum can change. Yesterday I didn't feel like filming at all, wasn't feeling too good, and today I've had the most productive filming day I've ever had. It's crazy how fast momentum can just carry over. These are the type of days when you're like, why don't I just do this every single day? You nailed your morning routine. You had a really good productive work day. Nailed your workout. Went to bed on time. Hit all your macros for your foods. Everything's good. And you're like, why don't I just do this every day? And I know it's unrealistic to have these days every day, because this is just the contrast to life. You have to have the bad days to be able to appreciate the good days. You have to have the lows to appreciate the highs, because it's the contrast that gives you that feeling, right? If everything just felt the same, it wouldn't feel like anything. But those days when you can get into a flow state and things just feel effortless, you're just able to keep going. It's so important to just maximize those, because on a day like this, you can get 5-10 times the amount of progress done than you would on a regular day. Now, I guess the goal is to be able to reproduce these days as much as possible. Another example I can think of is when I was tracking my work hours. So I would track start and stop time, eating times, sleeping times, and just track the amount of times I was physically at my laptop getting work done. And this was the most productive I ever was for like a month or two when I was doing this. But then things come up, you go to an event or go somewhere for a weekend, then you get back, you get out of the habit, or you tell yourself, I'll take one day off. One day turns into two, then turns into you just not doing it anymore. We've all been there, and it's annoying in hindsight when it was working so well and then we stopped what was making it work. And it just feels like too much effort to start the momentum again from day one. But back to the topic of how can we manufacture as much of these days where we're in as much of a flow state as possible. Super important. So I would say some of the key things are making your environment as easy as possible to do whatever the thing is that you're trying to do. Because every little thing will prevent you and just come as like a mountain or like an insurmountable obstacle when you're starting something you don't feel like it. It could be something as simple as just turning the lights on to record, or just sitting down at your laptop and typing that first sentence for that report, or it's just getting in your car and just driving to the gym to start that workout. These things are the hard things where it takes momentum, because we go from inaction, not doing anything, to starting it, right? It's like you need to trick yourself into doing the bare minimum, or trick yourself to just putting yourself in the place to have the option to do it. Even if you don't do it, just give yourself the option by just being there. You're going to increase your likelihood of doing it so much more. The next thing is necessity. So I'm going away for a couple of days. So I'm like, well, I want to use my studio and my setup here for the videos. So I have to get a couple of videos done. This is like when the essay is due at midnight. You have no choice but to do it. There's no if and buts about it. If you don't do it, you're getting a 0. You're going to fail the class for that 35% essay or assignment, project, whatever it is. And for some reason, you just started on the last day or the second last day. Now you got to get it all done. Yet you find a way. Get in that flow state where you're just so productive and everything's just flowing. And you get a month's worth of work or a week's worth of work done in one day. That's that flow state that Newport that he talks about in his book, Deep Work. How it only really takes a couple hours of focused work a day to make a massive improvement to your life. Become a master in whatever you want over a long enough time. That consistent compounding of the action. And if you can get into that state of doing the work without distractions, you can get so much more done than in a period of being distracted. But you have to put enough reps in to get those days. It doesn't just happen on day one. Like I said, I'm like 60 days into filming. This is the most productive day I've ever had. Most I ever recorded in one day was 2 videos, I think, up until this point. Now this is my 4th video I've recorded today. So how can you get into a flow? How can you make your environment as effortless as possible to sit down and start? How can you allocate some time to just sit down, even if you're not going to do anything, just sit down in the place where you're going to work or do the thing. If you don't want to do anything else for 10 minutes, that's fine. You can just stare at a wall, but you just put yourself there. The path of least resistance, if you have no other options, is going to be to do the thing eventually. Just get a good night's sleep. That's going to be helpful. Have a clean environment. Just simple stuff like this, but you guys already know all this stuff. This is just a reminder to myself and to you guys that on those days when you're able to push it hard, push the envelope a little bit. Because, just statistically speaking, today I've been 4 times more productive than every other day for the past 60 days. So in that day when I was able to hit that flow state and feel really good, I had a 400% increase in how much work I got done. Now, part of it is also the urgency. There's a necessity where I have to get it done because I have something I'm going to, so I'm not going to be in my studio for the next couple of days. So I want to get the videos done ahead of time to make sure I'm still on track on my video a day goal for you guys to watch and to keep building up the channel for my goal of making it to 365 days in a year of filming a video every day. But there's going to be the highs, there's going to be the lows. On lows, just get through it. That's all you can do, the bare minimum. That's good enough. That's the standard of excellence for those days. On the good days, push your limits because you will never know how much you can actually do unless you challenge yourself. Just like for working out, so many people are able to lift so much heavier than they think they can, but they limit themselves. I did this for years where I would just curl the 25s to the 35s for 10 reps. I knew I had like 3 more sets to do. That's what I found online somewhere on some Reddit post or something, or some YouTube video. Weight never went up, arms never grew. Some days don't feel like working out and just getting in the gym is enough. And then some days you feel great, caffeine's hitting, got a good night's sleep, fully recovered, and you just feel like you can run through a wall like the Kool-Aid man. Those are the days where you push it and see what you can accomplish. You won't know your limits unless you really try to optimize these days when you're able to be in that flow state for a long time. Try to get in the flow state as much as you can. Athletes will talk about this all the time. Kobe playing basketball, he's like, feels like time's just flowing, things are feeling effortless. Part of the experience of life. I mean, these could be described as the highs, if you will. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys are having a good day and get into a sick flow state soon for whatever it is that you're doing for your main thing and are able to absolutely crush it. I appreciate you guys for watching. I love you guys. And remember, take consistent action on your main thing and don't stop. Peace.